today our concept of discussion is AC through a capacitor. The concept of discussion currently is about AC through a capacitor. So this is the concept we will deal now. This AC circuits is little bit tougher, so I wish to go very slowly so that we will all get this concept. So if you have any doubt, you please let me know of about these things. That's one thing. So here, when always you remember one thing, while writing the AC circuits, first we will give something called the voltage signal. Always we give the voltage signal and see the response of the current. This is what you have to remember. And another thing I told you in the earlier classes, you have to remember this phrase, Li, the Iceman. Iceman. So in this one, I asked you to remember these things. Li refers to the voltage leads current in an inductor, and ice, the current leads voltage for a capacitor. So now we are going to see the ice part. Why the current leads the voltage in the case of a capacitor is what we are going to see today. And now let's see the to start with, let's see the concept wise. So you have, it's a bare simple circuit. What we will deal is that you have a capacitor which is connected to a voltage source, that is an AC voltage source. So this is the tap key. So always the AC voltage source is represented like this, AC source. So what we give is that voltage signal. The voltage signal is E is equal to E naught sine omega t. You can take cosine omega t also depending upon the situation. So generally, as per your textbook, what I have done is E is equal to E naught sine omega t is the function generally we consider. Now, now what we do is, we know for a capacitor Q is equal to CV. Q is equal to CV. This we know very well. So what is V here? The potential difference. So we'll write C into E, right? And now Q is what? Integral I dt. That is what is Q. Integral I dt, integral 0 to t. Because we know that current is dq by dt, right? So we can write Q as integral I dt. You can write like this. Q as integral I dt. So that integral I dt is equal to C into E is equal to E naught sine omega t, I can write. Okay. Now what we do is, we will take the derivative on either side so that this integral will cancel out. So when I take derivative on either side with respect to t, right, then this integral simply cancels out. So I get I is equal to, I get C into E naught into sine omega t. If I take the derivative, omega cos omega t, I will get omega into cos omega t. And now what is here? E naught, let us keep it aside. So okay, you can write up to here, no issues. So I can write I is equal to, I will write separately C into omega. So omega C will write one part into E naught into cos omega t. So let's write these things. So up to here, you please note. Written up to here, please let me know once completed.
Yes, sir.
Okay, ma. Now what we do is, so let's rewrite the equation. I is equal to omega c into E naught cosine of omega t. Now let us compare this with equation. I is equal to I naught, okay, cosine omega t. Like this we'll take, no problem. I'll tell you why I have taken. So both the things are same. I'll ensure these two trigonometric functions are same. And now here you have to observe one thing. This omega c E naught is nothing but I naught. Okay, na? So I can write I naught is equal to E naught into omega c. Now we compare with the Ohm's law. What is Ohm's law? I naught is equal to E naught by R. That is Ohm's law, right? Hopefully you got this. I is equal to E naught by R. And now instead of 1 by R, what is here? Omega c. So the omega c is the playing the part of inverse of a resistor. So omega c is playing the part of the inverse of the resistor, inverse of the resistor. So it is playing the part of the inverse of the resistor. It's playing the inverse part of the resistor. So that inverse part of the resistance, that it shows some resistance, that inverse part of the resistance is called capacitive reactance, which is given by 1 by omega c. And it is having the units of ohms. The beauty is that it has the units of ohms. XC. And we have seen another quantity called XL, that is called inductive reactance. This is called capacitive reactance. It is called capacitive reactance. It is called capacitive reactance. Okay, now got it. Please note this. It is called capacitive reactance. Clear, Amma? This is called capacitive reactance. Now, we draw the phasor diagram. Oh, okay. Before the phasor diagram, I have to tell you. See, I is equal to E naught by XC. Now our equation goes like this. E naught by XC cos of omega t. And now I have to compare with E is equal to E naught sine omega t. So to compare these two and find the phase difference, let's change this into sine function. So I will write E naught by XC, which is nothing but I naught. I can write always like this. E naught by XC is nothing but I naught. Here cosine omega t, we'll write it as sine of omega t plus pi by 2. We'll write this. And now what is the phase difference between current and E? You see this part minus this part, difference of the arguments you have to take. So what is the difference of the arguments? Omega t plus pi by 2 minus omega t. This is the difference of the arguments. So these two get cancelled out and what you get is pi by 2. Clear? And so what is this? It says, I told you the Li the Iceman, the current leads the voltage in the capacitor by a phase difference of pi by 2. So this, what does it mean? Current leads the voltage in a capacitor with a phase difference of pi by 2. Phase difference of pi by 2. This is the thing which you have to keep in mind.
Noted, sir.
Okay, ma, good. Now we draw the phasor diagram. So for drawing the phasor diagram, what we do, see the both the current and voltage have to be represented. So because current is leading, see the leading, always remember the leading part will be shifted to left. Shifted to left. Shifted to left. This principle you remember, it's very useful. Leading part will be shifted to left. So here you see this one will be voltage E naught. So always I told you the peak, the E naught value will be always larger than current, because you will get current by dividing E naught with some resistor. Because you are dividing E naught with some value, this value I naught will be smaller than that. This is how you can remember. So this is I naught. So here you go. This is like this. And this is what you have, right? And now this is what you have, and now this is the origin, what you have, this origin. And now you see the difference, this here, this one will be pi by 2, this one is pi by 2. This is how one can remember. So that's the phasor diagram. The thing is that E and I both are represented on the y-axis, and this is the time axis. That is what the phasor diagram is. E and I both are represented on the y-axis, and this is time axis. Always remember, I vector is smaller than the E naught vector. You draw in such a way that these two lines is like that. And now leading part, which is leading, I naught is leading and E naught is coming afterwards. The leading parts are always shifted towards left. If you remember this fundas, you can draw the phase diagram, this phasor diagram. drawn this?
Noted, sir.
Okay, ma, very good. Now let's move on. Now we see Xc is called capacitive reactance. Xc is 1 by omega c, which is called capacitive reactance. The opposing nature, how it is defined? The opposing nature, the opposing nature of of capacitor to the flow of to the flow of opposing nature of the capacitor to the flow of alternating current, to the flow of alternating current, to the flow of alternating current is called capacitive reactance, is called capacitive reactance. If you can say that f is the frequency of AC, then omega is equal to 2 pi fc, 2 pi f, right? Omega is 2 pi f. So xc becomes 1 by 2 pi fc. Next one. If f increases, that is frequency of AC increases, then xc decreases. And now the next one. For a DC source, the frequency will be 0, which means that xc will be infinite. So which means the capacitor completely blocks DC. The capacitor will completely block the DC. This is the one you have to keep in mind. The capacitor completely blocks the DC current. This is the proof you can give. Xc is equal to 1 by 2 pi fc. F is equal to 0 for a DC source. So once you put that xc is equal to infinity, that means that infinite resistance it will offer. So it will completely block the DC source. So this is the fundamental idea. I'll discuss one problem, then we'll close today. Can I clear? You would
sir.
have written. Yeah. Next. A capacitor. A capacitor of 10 microfarad of 10 microfarad is connected to a an AC source of EMF or voltage, both are taken as same. E is equal to 220 sine 100 pi t. Like this they will give. This 100 pi is omega. Okay. Write the write the write the equation of instantaneous current. Write the equation of instantaneous current. Write the equation of instantaneous current through the circuit. Through the circuit. Write the equation of instantaneous current through the circuit. What will be the reading of AC ammeter? What will be the reading of AC ammeter connected in the circuit? Connected in the circuit. What is the reading of AC ammeter connected in the circuit? Once finished, please let me know.
Noted, sir.
Okay, ma. Now let me clear. Now I'll write the answer. So looking at the equation, you can see that E naught value is 220 volts. What is E naught? That is a peak value. And now omega, I told you that is 100 pi. So we'll compare the argument with omega t, that is 100 pi. You got this. And now we have, they asked to find XC. What is the capacitance they have given? 10 microfarad. No. So we'll write 10 into 10 to the power of minus 5 farad. And now XC we have to find, that is 1 by omega C, right? So 1 by omega is 100 into pi into the C value is 10 to the power of minus 6. This is a 10 power minus 5 you will get. So farad. So if you apply this, we get an answer of 318.5 ohms. 318.5 ohms. This is the answer what you get for the XC. And now I had to find I naught. I naught is equal to E naught by XC. This is how I can find I naught. So E naught value is 220 divided by XC value is 318.5. So once I put that, I will get I naught value. I naught value is 0.691 amps. This much we'll get I naught value. And now they asked whatever I told you yesterday, whatever the reading you see in the AC ammeter, they told. They may tell AC generator, that is an instrument. So whatever the reading you see, that is RMS reading. The RMS is I naught by root 2. This is how we calculate. So I naught value is 0.691 divided by root 2. Root 2 value is 1.414. So you can substitute this and then you will get an answer as 0.489 amps. 0.489 amps. So the instantaneous current they asked us. So that instantaneous current means the current equation you have to write. I is equal to I naught sine of omega t plus pi by 2. This is how you get for the case of a capacitor. So the I naught value will substitute, that is 0.489. Sorry, 0.691. Sorry, 0.691. That is I naught value sine of the omega t value is 100 pi t plus pi by 2. Hence the answer. This equation, whatever you write, is called instantaneous current equation. Yeah, that is sufficient. This is sufficient, Amma. So we will I will let you know tomorrow is difficult. I will let you know about mostly we will meet on Monday. The next part is LCR circuit will solve, and then one concept by one concept will go, and then we'll finish it off by mostly by next week. I can complete this part. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, ma. We'll meet on Monday, and then I'll let you know what to be done next. LCR circuit, and then AC through an LCR circuit we'll see. And then please practice these things. These things will become difficult later part. These questions are, it's not like a conventional physics what you read. This is something different actually. So please go through this. This AC circuits is little bit questions will come. I think I'll share a questions set of questions also with you with answers. That once this topic is completed, I'll share that with you. Okay, ma. Thank you all. Hopefully you would have noted everything. And then anyway, I'll post the video today. Bye. See you all.